This is Monstargear's XO K80 Polycarbonate version. It is an 80% or a TKL with a polycarbonate case. It has a 7-degree typing angle with a brass weight with PVD coat and comes with an aluminum plate. You can also purchase extra plates that come in brass or FR4 on the website. If you prefer a stiff typing feel, go with brass. A bouncier feel, FR4. The K80 is a gasket mounted board, which means that the plate and PCB are not screwed to the case of the board and are compressed by gaskets, usually made of boron, to give the typing feel a more bouncy experience. It weighs a hefty amount, I would say around 3 to 4 pounds, or 1.6 kilograms. I was provided the board by a friend of mine who is a part of the keyboard hobby, and he wanted me to try out the board and review it. He started streaming recently, so I'll leave his Twitch in the description. Probably doesn't want me to do this, but whatever. Opening the box, you have your PCB and plate. I'm unsure if the weight comes attached to the board or not, but I believe it does not, and the case itself. The board came pre-built for me, at least, being that I got this from a friend of mine. PCB was already out of its container, as well as the plate, but when you receive it, it will be in their own packaging. You also have some other things that come with the board, such as extra gaskets, standoffs and screws, cleaning brush for dust, keycap and switch puller, USB Type-C cable, and a sticker. Assembly of the board is fairly simple. 8 screws keep the board together. Keep in mind the longer screws are for the top of the case and the shorter ones for the bottom. The person I got the board from placed his gaskets on the plate and not on the case body, but I'm sure there isn't much difference when it comes to the feel of the board. There are 14 gasket mounting points on the plate, which honestly is a lot of points for the gasket mount. That's just my thoughts. Since you got a hot swap PCB assembly, it's a lot simpler since you don't have to solder any switches into the PCB. Typing feel of this board was not bad. There isn't much flex from the gasket mounts, and I wish there was a bit more bounce to the typing feel. Sound of the board is okay, but not the best. One thing the person asked me to try out was placing gaskets on both the plate and case to see if that improves the sound or feel of the board. He said that he saw this in Wildcat's video when he was reviewing the XO K80 or showcasing. So I went into the board and tried this out, and one thing I noticed, with his unit at least, was that the extra gaskets made it so tight that the top case started bowing and flexing, which was a bit of a concern for me, but I persisted, closed up the board, and tried it out. Honestly, this feels a lot nicer to me at least. The extra gaskets gave it a more bouncier feel, and the board seems to have a bit more flex. I wasn't expecting any bouncier or flex to it. I honestly thought the complete opposite, which was a surprise to me. Sound wise, it sounds a little quieter, but I don't know how accurate my ears are with picking that up. It isn't much of a noticeable difference, but it's there. Once again, I went into the board, removed the gaskets from the top case to see if I can get a similar typing feel without flexing the top case of the board. Removing those gaskets from the case did remove the flexing that was occurring, and flex-wise of the mounting system, it stayed the same, which was a relief. The typing feel of the board seems to have slightly changed with a bit less of that bouncy feel when it came to typing, but it isn't too much of a noticeable difference. Removing the gaskets from the top case seems to have also changed the sound of the board, as well as making the board a bit louder. Not a huge sound change, but small enough that it's noticeable. The board software implementation is via and QMK supported. If you want to configure the PCB when it comes to key mapping, both softwares are a good option, but for RGB configurations, I had a lot of trouble being that a lot of the mappings that were on the VIA software were labeled incorrectly or just didn't work at all. I didn't go into the QMK side of the programming since I honestly couldn't be bothered with RGB stuff, but I think QMK side would definitely be much simpler to go with than VIA, in my opinion at least. Overall, I think the XO K80 is an okay board. With the right switches and keycaps, I think this board can sound and feel great. Coming in at $380 USD, not including shipping and taxes, this board is on the more higher end of the price range when it comes to custom keyboards. Would I spend $380 on this board? Not really, purely because polycarbonate boards are just not my preference, as well as the fact that I believe you can get better sounding and feeling boards than this one for $380. I will say that the sound and typing feel of this board is not bad. Even if I'm not a fan of polycarbonate, I don't mind the feel of the board or the sound. Do I think everyone will like this board? No, but I do think there's a market for people that would be looking into this board and also enjoying it. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. I also have other keyboard content as well. If you like that content, hit the subscribe button. I'll greatly appreciate it. I also have a Twitch. I stream every Wednesdays and Fridays. I think this will be changing in the later future, so keep a lookout on that. I stream at twitch.tv/smilanddown. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.